Hi, welcome to Catharsis Radio. Today we are doing journal entry 2, and I'll be calling it You Don't Always Have to Get It, Just Keep Moving and Learning. Now, this video concept came to me in relation to my last video. In it, I said that I was beginning to trust the process, and there will be times and instances where things won't make sense, and I would just feel confused about what was happening, and I couldn't make sense of a lot of situations for most of the time. And I would want to I would like scramble to find a solution to make things make sense, to make sure that I understood what was happening in the moment all the time. But the thing is, when we keep moving despite the confusion, we are able to, in my head, that to me just teaches a level of resilience, because it's like, yeah, there's this back and forth. There's this like my world is shook right now, but if I just keep moving, then the truth is bound to reveal itself at some point. So, in me being in situations where I try and make sense of things, I try and understand things, I just came to realize that nothing has to always make sense, because the bigger picture is that, you know, I will find out when I'm meant to find out, because some things are just with divine timing, and sometimes that's just out of my control, and there isn't really anything that I can do about it. It's okay to be clueless, because then you learn. I had to come to a point where I had to like let go of control, because you won't always get the lesson immediately, and there's actually no point in me fixating on it anyway. And through this, I remember a time when my ego would be inflated by this whole notion of me knowing everything. Like, my ego was always in the state of, oh, I know, like this know-it-all mindset. And get that got me to a point of stagnation, because I'm like, oh well, okay, now I know everything. Now what? Now what? Because now, in trying to make sense of everything that doesn't make sense, I'm thinking I'm a know-it-all. But even in that state of knowing it all, it just wasn't time for me to have those realizations that are meant to get me to this like sort of solution. Now became a thing where I was under this illusion, like I was delusional in thinking that I know everything, but I know nothing at all. I'm here to tell you, I know nothing at all. We don't know anything at all. We might think we know, but we don't. Because if you think about it, like, our world is so vast, not just the physical, but the spiritual aspect, our souls, like that goes deeper and deeper. There are things that have not been uncovered yet, that are yet to be uncovered. It's like this this life experience is full of so much that our lifetimes, our lifespans just aren't enough to discover everything all at once. So, who was I to say that I know when I don't? Now, at this point with my ego, it was like, it wasn't productive anymore. Me thinking that I know stuff when I don't. So, again, I was kind of at this standpoint. But what I do want to say is, just keep moving. despite the noise, whether it's internal or external, because in that way, time will just, time has a way of just working things out one way or another. So I have a journal entry for this. I'm just going to read a sentence off of it, and I said, just keep moving. The beauty behind the concept of moving or to keep moving is that you learn, or I think you're meant to learn, resilience through the storm. I might at first glance look at the storm and think to myself that it's going to wipe me out. But instead of waiting for that thought to materialize, I need to keep moving, because whether or not it does, there are other things that need to get done. But hear me when I say, don't invalidate the experience or how you feel. So don't invalidate how you feel, because at the end of the day, you have to feel your feelings. And also, I feel like emotions sometimes are like, our emotions are kind of like this timestamp of like how something made you feel. It just creates this thing in you that, okay, the last time I went through this, I felt this. And then you're able to just approach that situation in itself differently, and you kind of learn through that because there's something in your memory that remembers. And I feel like emotions help us to also remember that, wait, that thing made me feel this way, maybe I shouldn't go there, or this thing made me feel this way, maybe we should try it again, you know. And I think in this whole concept of moving forward despite everything is that at the end of the day, we have to remember why we're here. And if you stay fixated on something, like, is it really worth wasting your purpose fixating on something that you probably cannot do anything about at that time, when instead you just could have just accepted that, like, hey, I don't know anything, but I can keep moving and keep learning. I think that's that's just the way that I thought to myself, well, if I'm beginning to trust the process, how can I approach trusting the process? And this is just one of those things that I thought of right off the bat. It's technically the only thing I've thought about, because I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know. Or rather, let me rephrase that. I know where I want to go, but how is still something that I am unraveling and going through. The process, and that process really involves growing and evolving through each experience, through each step that I'm taking. And one last thing that I just wanted to add is that life is always in motion. So I think that this whole concept that I came up with, it just shows that if life is constantly moving, then we should also move along with life. It's okay to stop and rest, collect yourself, but then at the end of the day, still, once that is done, you have to keep moving forward. And I don't know, I just kind of thought to myself, like, there's that one song, I don't know the rest of the song, but those lyrics by Drake when he says, "Why would I stop?" Like, come on, why would you stop? I feel like even if, like, along the path you go through something, once you overcome that something and you just keep moving, you're bound to see the beauty in the end. You're bound to see something beautiful that's gonna uplift you to keep moving. It's like it's a constant cycle, it's constant motion. It never really stops. Our bodies, they're in constant motion. They never really stop. So it's like this cycle of movement, of motion, it's a part of life. So it's written. Why not just keep moving, keep learning? Because at the end of the day, that's just that's just the basis of life. That's just the basis of life. Anyways, before I close off, I have affirmations first. So the first the first one is, So the first one is I'm enough. The second one, everything works in my favor. And thirdly, I am capable. You're enough to achieve anything that you want. You're enough to step into spaces. You are enough for any dream that you think of for yourself, anything that you want. You are enough for that. You can do it. There's no such thing as somebody has it better than me, that is never a thing. And secondly, everything works out because it's just meant to. It's just meant to be that way. So why worry about it not working out if it's just gonna work out anyways? Trust in the process. And then I'm capable because you can't do anything. Nothing is stopping you. Nothing, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Yes, no weapon formed against you shall no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And lastly, some general prompts to, further marinate in this thought to think about it. So I wrote, how do I act or react in situations where I don't know what to do? 2, what can I do when I'm in a challenging situation instead of dwelling on the situation? 3, what have I learned from a previous challenging experience? Some reflections, some reflective, questions to go through. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.